Hi, this is Phil from Software G, and today I want to show you how to use MashZone NextGen with ARIS. The easiest way to connect ARIS with MashZone NextGen is to use spreadsheets. So as a first step, let's create a spreadsheet. In order to do that, I'm going to create a query. And so here I'm in my ARIS architect, and I'm going to create a query. And I'm going to start with the database root, and I'm going to look at a certain model type. And so I'm going to create a very, very basic thing that we can then use to create a very, very simple chart out of. So I'm going to use an EPC, and I want to know all the organizational units that are connected to an EPC. So here I'm going to say contains object, and then I'm going to go into organizational view, and I'm going to say organizational unit. So now I have a very basic thing. I'm looking for all my EPCs in my database that have organizational units, and I'm going to get to see this relationship. So if I hit query, I see here we have 4 models, and they have between 3 and 5 different types of org units that are part of those models. So now let's create a tabular view of this. And so now I'm also just going to put these objects into this table. And then I can execute my query again. And I can look at these results. So you can see the exact same data is here in the model view as well as the table view. Now this is good enough for me. I'm going to just use this as a very basic data example to create a chart in MashZone. So in order to do that, I need to save this as a table. So I can click here on Save Table. I'm going to call this guy MZ Demo. I'm going to save it here in a folder that I have created specifically for this. All right. And so here we now have this table open. Once you have the table ready, you can send it over to MashZone by using this generate dashboard links. In order to do the dashboard link, you need to select some rows or cells that you want to use. And so what I want to do here first, I want to just give these guys a name, these columns. And now that I have here database, EPC, and org unit, and once I have my cells or rows that I want to use selected, I can click on generate dashboard links, and then I get this URL here that I can use. And so the only thing I need to change here, I want to use my first row as a header, and you can see here we're doing this A1 to C17. You can also select entire rows, but here just for this demo version, I'm just going to use this kind of restricted part. Copy this to the clipboard, and then we can go over to MashZone and use it there. Okay, so once you have your table ready, you can go into MashZone NextGen. And in MashZone NextGen, you have this dashboard functionality. And here we can just create a new dashboard. And so I want to create a chart, just a column chart where we will show the different EPCs and how many org units they have, you know, between 3 and 5. Okay, so I create a new column chart, and then here I have to click on Assign Data. And then I get here different options of how I can connect to data. And so here I'm going to, of course, select ARIS data or ARIS table. And then here I can add in my link. And once I've done that, I can see if this link is working by basically looking here on this little calculator that connects to ARIS. and I have an issue here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in here into my system account and see if this works again. Ta-da. So now we have here our connection to a specific ARIS table. And so I want to change the data a little bit. So you can see here, first of all, we got this column here that's kind of just not doing anything. So I'm going to delete that. So I'm going to click here on delete column. I'm going to get rid of the D column. And then I'm going to insert a column. You can see here, by the way, I can again click on the calculator and then I see the data. So we have these three fields, the database, the EPC, and the org unit. Now, in order to create a chart, I need to be able to count stuff. And you can see this is all text values. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create a count. And I'm just going to put a static 1 in here. And then I can again click on my calculator. And so now I see that every row now just has a 1 in there. And this way I can count rows. All right. So that's it. Now I'm done with my data import. And so now I'm going to go on next. And so here I can now use my count to count how many org units do we have in every EPC. And of course, when we go on count, we need to make sure that we sum this up. So that way we can see the different EPCs will now have different counts. And I made a mistake because now I'm counting actually the org units. What I actually wanted to count is the EPCs, but this is interesting as well. It shows us which org units is active in how many EPCs. But so now let's do this again. And again, I'm going to use my ARIS table, paste in my table here. Check that my connection is working. And because I'm lazy, all I'm going to do here is just insert the count. Then go next. And then of course, what I should have done, I should have used the EPCs together with the count. And again, make sure that we sum up the values. And so now I have my two charts here, and I can see how many EPCs have how many org units, between 3 and 5. And so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to connect these two. I'm going to filter the above chart by org unit. And then here on the bottom, I'm also going to select the org unit. And let's just take a look at our dashboard by going on the view, and I can now click on a row at the bottom, and then I see the EPCs that this particular person is involved in. Yeah, and that's it. That's how easy it is to connect data into MashZone. This is not a very fancy demo, but it shows you how easy it is to use data out of ARIS in MashZone NextGen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next Software AG video.